So far, 38 members of the House have announced they will not seek re-election. Also, there's some in the Senate.
And it's not just the future of the House that's in question. Like you said, Republicans are setting their sights on 5 key Senate seats that could very well determine the balance of power in the upper chamber. So let's take a look.
Their best chance to take over the majority in the Senate in years to come. First off, this is the most obvious, Ainsley. Joe Manchin says, I was losing anyway. Yeah. I might run for president. I'm going to step aside, and this Republican state most likely will go Republican.
Because people love Jim Justice. He's been the governor there. He's a Republican, and West Virginia has voted for the GOP presidential candidate in the past 6 elections. So Joe Manchin saying, I'm going to take a time out. There's questions maybe he will run again in a different party, the No Labels party, run for president. We'll see.
Yeah, Governor Jim Justice, self-finance, a self-made multi-billionaire. Meanwhile, let's go over to Montana. Every year we hear the Senator Tester in that very red state as a Democrat is vulnerable, but he finds a way to win. Will this time be different? Let's take a look. That's John Tester. Farmer guy, wants to be an everyman, but never takes a hard vote. Think about it, Ainsley. We always talk about Sinema and Manchin. Yeah. We never talk about Tester taking a hard vote.
And he's running for a 4th term, so he has the name recognition. But Tim Shee, he served our country. He is a Navy SEAL, a former Navy SEAL. And if you look at his campaign videos, he's like central casting. He has this beautiful wife, his 4 beautiful children, and horses in every picture.
Matt Rosendale went last time. He might try it again, and they might go at it in the primary. Right now, he has got a single-digit lead. We'll see how this goes.
Look at this, Brian. Montana voted for the GOP presidential candidate in 11 of the past 12 elections. Trump won by 16 points in that state.
Yeah, I mean, it would be different if Tester was taking gutsy stands against his own party, but he doesn't. You wonder how long Montana will tolerate it. Next, let's go to Ohio. He's tilting more and more red each and every year. But what would make Senator Brown vulnerable?
Yeah, so this is J.D. Vance territory, and you can see there are 2 guys that will probably be running against him. It looks like all 3 possible Republicans polling very close. There's a few Republicans in this race. They're polling very close to Sherrod Brown.
In fact, I thought the last poll I saw, I think Dolan had up by 2, and I think LaRose was up by 1. We'll see how this goes. The one thing to keep in mind, and I want to be interested in your input on that, and that is the abortion rule that will pass. They legalized abortion in the state, in this very red state. They kind of bucked the tide. Your thoughts on that helping Brown?
Well, you know, the issue with abortion, Republicans really have to get on board and figure out how they're going to talk about this, because there are a lot of women, especially independent women. They want to say, look, we might not like abortion, but we don't want people to tell us what we can and can't do. Every situation might be different. I like Nikki Haley's answer to that when she was debating.
We promised you to look at 5 states. We've done 3. How many is left? I believe that's 2. Let's take a look at Arizona.
All right, Kristen Sinema became an independent last year. Will that help? Will it hurt? Will it affect it? She has name recognition, but a lot of people like Carrie Lake.
Right. She's taking some tough votes, but will win over Democrats. The Democrats said, no, I want somebody else. And I want it to be Ruben Gallego. They have the establishment there.
He's the Democrat.
Right. So think about this. If he gets the nomination here, Carrie Lake has got the nomination on the right. What does Sinema do? It helps Carrie Lake if Sinema stays in for sure. I don't know if she has it without a party base, has enough to keep that seat. Last election was pretty close. With Martha McSally.
Do you think it helps Carrie Lake if Sinema stays in?
My humble opinion, it gives Carrie Lake the seat because she'll take enough Democrats to make a close race tilt right. Finally, Pennsylvania. Dave McCormick's so impressive against Dr. Oz last time. Remember, West Point grad, self-made multimillionaire from Pennsylvania, not going to be challenged in the primary.
Wife Dina was part of the Trump campaign, so he'll probably get the support of Donald Trump. Republican, great guy, businessman. Bob Casey, he is a Democrat, and he's likely, these 2 are likely to face off in that state.
Right. If it wasn't for the strength of McCormick as a candidate, Casey would be almost a lock to keep that seat in Pennsylvania, which is always a battleground state. But right now, Trump is up by 12 in that state. And right now, Pennsylvania seems very fed up, even though they're happy with their governor, very fed up with some of the Democratic policies.
Look at this. Trump is leading in the polls, at least. Biden by 4 points in Pennsylvania.
Right. Yeah, pretty impressive. I saw one up by 12. So far, we'll see if that helps. Remember, Pat Toomey had that seat. He lost it to Senator Fetterman. Not lost it, but he stepped aside. Fetterman ends up winning it. We'll see if McCormick, who likes to wear a vest. I loved his answer when asked, why do you spend so much time in Connecticut when you're running for a seat in Pennsylvania? He said, hey, listen, I'm divorced. I want to see my kids. I got to go back and forth, but I'm from Pennsylvania. And let's see if that sells.